years and not seeing a dentist once, having only work and sleep for nearly 4 years with no time or place to be by yourself. And I venture to say that every one of you kids at some time or other like to be by yourself. Whether you lock yourself in a room, you walk in the country, whatever you do. But think of not ever being alone for 4 years. And my explanation of that is there was always guards watching us all of those times. Can you imagine how much I hate seeing food wasted? Because in my particular case, we never got enough food. How much I hate barbed wire fences, because we were enclosed in barbed wire fences. And can you imagine my body shrinking from 185 pounds down to between 7 and 80? I don't believe that you can imagine that, how much weight a person can lose if he is starved. Water is also very important. You can live a long time without food, but with water, you will not live long. Can you imagine not seeing your family, your friends, or any woman? Gee, that bothered me. No woman for 4 years? I thought I took that out of there, but I kind of like that anymore. But you know what the girls say in that era? They missed us equally. So that made me feel a little bit better. Not knowing where your next food would come from, you never knew. Having filthy ground, bamboo strips, or wood floors to sleep on for 4 years. Not having any clean clothing for nearly 4 years. Of course, ours didn't last that long because they rotted off us. But try and imagine going for a long period of time without any clean clothing. And of course, as you know, over in Japan, rice was the main food, but I still liked rice. The worst of all is this one. I don't know if all of you are familiar with it or not, but the worst part of that long period of time was not having lefse and lutefisk. You can believe that, okay, some of you know what it is. But you know, once in a while I thought I just smelled it. I shouldn't say that. Now, let me say this from an old soldier. I am an old soldier. I am no hero. I was no hero while the battle was going on in Bataan in the Philippine Islands. I was not a hero on a death march, which maybe some of you have heard of, in the slave camps or on the hell ships going to Japan. But I just never gave up. I wanted to go home so bad to see my mom and dad and brother. And I consider myself a survivor. For 4 years, I was always thinking and praying of ways to survive. And I truly thank God that I was able to return. Regarding myself, none of you were even born at this time, even none of your teachers weren't. I joined the Army Air Corps in November of 1939 and arrived in the Philippines in February of 1940 by way of Hawaii and Guam. Now they let us off the boat in Hawaii. And we got up on the docks. We looked over here, there's about 30 beautiful women. And they're all doing a hula dance, grass skirts and all that. I just about turned around and run away, but I didn't. I wanted to look. But this was a happy old farm boy, I'll tell you, watching those girls. Thought you'd like that. Now the duty here was great. By duty I mean our job was great. And I was to be there for 2 years. And then rotate, that means go back to good old USA in January of '42. But it never happened. Pearl Harbor, which most of you or all of you are aware of, was bombed on December 4th, 1941, which meant war. Nicholls Field was the name of the air base that I was at, right on the outskirts of Manila. Was bombed on December 10th, and the entire base was heavily damaged. Fighter planes, which is the smaller airplanes that watch the bombers and so on, came within 20 or 30 feet of me. And I tell you, they strafed our hangars. I was off to the side of them this 30 feet, and grass about this high. I think I dug down on the ground on top of it. I was so scared. And you would have been too. After a bombing of a base, excuse me, we sent up what is called an observation airplane. An observation airplane is a small plane that goes up to take pictures of the damage that has been done. So I'm near the runway when one of these planes comes in and lands, and the pilot gets out and he just kind of puts his head down and he walks away. It was tandem seating, which means one guy in front of the other, two sit in tandem. The guy in the back seat wasn't talking, wasn't moving. I shook his shoulder, no action whatsoever. So I unbuckled his parachute. In those days you buckled them on and you sat on them for a cushion. And I lifted him out of that airplane. And where his parachute was, in the bottom of where he sat, which is a bucket seat, was about a 1/4 inch of his blood. And I said to myself, I have truly now seen what war is like. Only the beginning. Just before Christmas in 1941, we got orders to leave Nicholls Field, which was going to Bataan, which is about 12, 14 mile trip. And we went at night so the Japanese couldn't spot us and bomb us on the way over there. And it was here that I'd spend about 4 months of pure hell as a prisoner of war. We were issued 30-06 Springfield rifles and bayonets. Any of you know what a bayonet is? Okay, for you that don't, it's a knife-like apparatus that fits on the end of your rifle, and it's about so long, and it is used when you fight man-to-man combat. And you try to hurt the other guy as much as you can. You may have to kill him. We received about 2 hours of training, because us guys were all Air Corp at that time. We had no training with rifles. And here they throw them at us, and all of a sudden we were all infantry, so to speak. We got over there, and sure enough, here comes an airplane, a Japanese plane, down the road. We don't hear him right away, but we see him a short distance. And we're in the jungle, hidden as well as we could. And in my case, I saw this sand spitting up. And I couldn't figure out, what in the world is that? Then it dawned on me. It was bullets from that airplane firing at us. And I was shaking like a leaf, I'll tell you. You had many close calls during the war, many. one instance where my friend and I were drinking tea out of our canteen cup. A canteen cup is a metal cup that all the soldiers carry, holds about a pint. Standing there drinking our tea, and all of a sudden, this guy's right here, I'm right here. His canteen goes out of his hand. And of course, you know at that instant that there is a sniper somewhere not too far away from you. Sometimes you find them, sometimes you don't. Another time, a friend of mine and I were running down a little path in the jungle where cars had driven. And out of nowhere comes this airplane behind us, and he's firing machine guns. You don't hear him until he's by. And my friend is over here. And I looked at him, and he's Norm. I said, Norm, I said, you're hit in the shoulder. Because he was bleeding in the shoulder. And I'll say it just like he said it. He says, what the hell do you mean I'm hit? Well, he looked at his shoulder, and of course he realized he was hit. Another time when I pointed to this guy and I said, thank you, Lord, how close you come to being killed. Now, we were running toward a tree. We were going to take some cover because we knew he'd be back. So we spot this tree maybe about 8 or 10 inches in diameter, and we're running for it, and we get to the tree, and that airplane, of course, he pulls up and he comes around again. He sees us, of course. He's lined up with this tree. He lets go of the barrage of bullets, and he hit about 3 feet above us in the tree. That's how close we were being killed again. Went up in the heavens again. We were starved to death over there in my part of the war, and I think it was a systematically done action by the Japanese. And because we lacked sufficient food, we were forced to eat our beautiful cavalry of horses. Now, in those days, everything was cavalry, horses, in other words. We didn't have all these modern things to pull the guns with and all this. It was by horses. And can you imagine how hard that was for some of those guys that took care of those horses to eat them? Some of them could not do it. Maybe some of you couldn't do it. It was your pet. But most of us did eat it because we needed food badly. Now next we ate carabao. Anybody know what a carabao is, or a caribou? Good. That's an animal that's just as big as a cow that you have out here. In fact, it'll be a big cow. And we bought those from the Filipinos, and we could have been nasty about it and took them. But we still had finances and we could buy them, so we bought them. Because the Filipinos were all on our side all the time during the war. A lot of them. So after they were gone, we hunted for anything that we could find to eat. I hope some of these don't make you vomit, but it might make you feel that way. We ate monkeys, snakes, iguanas like a small alligator, grasshoppers, mice. Can you imagine eating a mouse? Isn't that about to turn you? But we ate them and glad to catch them whenever we could. Frogs. We ate frogs that didn't have legs any more than the size of a good toothpick. But we thought there was food value there, so we ate them, of course. Worms. Hope you never have to eat a worm. Grass. We boiled grass. We boiled leaves. We boiled weeds. Anything that might have any food value, especially protein. Now, if any of you ever have to eat a night crawler, you know, they're pretty big, be sure you milk the dirt out of them before you eat them, huh? Wouldn't that be good? Sorry. But we ate dogs, parrots, snails, and anything, like I say, anything alive